Have Nigeria's own joining me here on the show here tonight for Sports and Hip Hop with DJ Mad Max, Live 365, iHeartRadio, goes by the name of Yugo. What's going on, man?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. How you doing?
Doing pretty well. Congratulations on the new release, Before. How you feeling about it?
Honestly, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling awesome. The song is going places. I'm feeling good.
The African Michael Jackson, that's what you coined yourself to be.
Yeah.
Now, were you studying some of Michael Jackson's dance moves, being from a different country? Because he is worldwide at this point.
Yeah, I did study some of his dance moves, though. I'm not gonna lie. I did study some of the dance moves, and I tried to inculcate it with the African dance as well. So, yeah.
I want to take you back to the beginning here because I heard about the neighborhood that you grew up with, and it taught you to have dedication, have a hard work mindset. You see how people are up early in the morning, from the bus drivers are out there grinding. From the artist standpoint, when did you really start to get on your artist grind? Because what really brought up the creativity in you and what you want to be an artist was when you wrote a letter to wrote a song to your crush back in early on in your school years. So when did you start to take that to the next level and become one of those hardworking people out there and trying to make this a business for yourself?
That was earlier in 2018. Basically, it was 2018 where I started doing a lot of research on how to be mainstream, how to get a labels deal, how to do this, how to do that, how to get the song on the mainstream, how to get it on different platforms, on radio stations. So it was as of 2018 that I started doing like research. I was like, okay, I need to do this full time. I need to make this a business and all that. So
It's important that you did. And who are some of the most important people that you linked up in figuring this out and who believed in you? Because your management, you already have a management team down. You've made the connection with Richard Dean. So who were some of the first stepping stones people to really believe in you?
it was my mom and my manager.
That's big. That's all you need. And you already have the confidence because it's the confidence in yourself when you call yourself the African Michael Jackson. That means you really believe in yourself. That's big time too.
Yeah.
Because many times when you see artists coming up in the game, they get turned away from a lot of labels and they don't have that confidence, so they just fold. If you believe in yourself, you're going to keep going and eventually you're going to get to that place where you want to be.
Exactly.
Nazareth, I heard about your experience at this school, and this could be what really led to you, which fans set you apart and they noticed your accent.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's very true.
All throughout the school. So you would be going into the staff room, the library, and it was everyone. What was it that they just had different accents? Were they all from different parts of the region?
They usually had different accents, but it was mostly people speaking in the British accent, in the British English, you know, all terms, and that really was surprising for me because I was still a kid. So yeah, it really helped me build the way I speak and the way I talk. So yeah.
When we look at Nazareth, because we always want to reflect what did we learn in school. We always try to say we don't need school. There's some positives to it, but what could you take away that you think that school helped you out on the music side? And you can even be on the business side of music. Was there anything that you took away from your experience at school?
My experience at school, I would say it had an impact on the way I write my music because there are a lot of things you would learn from in school, if like besides the whole mathematics and English and biology and all that. The morals you learn, the daily experience, the things you experience on a day-to-day basis in school. So I think those things really did have a part to play in the evolution of my music as well.
What's interesting about you as well, and doing my research on you, reading up on your bio and your press kit, was that you turn all your shortcomings into an advantages. Is there an example that you can give us that was a shortcoming that happened to you when you were just first getting your start, which you were able to turn that into an advantage?
Um, I would say like before I would say I'll use before as an example. That became an advantage for me because like I turned the pain into, you know, the masterpiece that everyone is really going crazy about because, you know, so I'd say that really was one of the shortcomings that I just snapped it and I took it, I used it as an advantage to myself and to everyone else.
And then you already released, which received critical acclaim, of course, and people liked it. Rhyme So Deep. This was your first release here, Audio Mac. And
Yeah.
then you got the extension here, which is going to be YugoSZN, the EP dropping soon. We already got before. This is your revolution. You've called it your evolution of music. How you've evolved over time.
Yeah, this is you know, if I should listen to Rhapsody again, it's you'd really see if you listen to Rhapsody, you'd really see the difference between like back then and right now. And you know, that I would say has been a very big evolution for me. And I'm still growing, honestly, because you know, as I still have a lot to do, I still have a lot of songs to make, I still have a lot of sounds to discover in, you know, in the whole music world. And I would love to discover new sounds. I love discovering new sounds as well. So yeah.
I can tell just from listening to your discography this far, just how experimental you are. And you brought up an interesting point before. You were studying how to become mainstream. Now, from your standpoint, because in the States, we look at there's two sides to artists. You have underground and then you have mainstream. Are you someone that wants to make your underground sound mainstream, or do you just make mainstream music? How would you classify your style and what you're trying to do for yourself?
Honestly, for myself, I would say I make great music. I don't
Mhm.
really consider it mainstream or underground or, you know, I make good music and I just put the good music out to the people and, you know, they love it. And I make sure it's good. It always has to be good. So as long as it's good, everyone loves it, then it's all good.
Exactly. I heard that you have a top artist that you had a feature with here on this upcoming project. Is there any clues? You don't have to reveal any name, but is there any clues at all that you can drop to your fans here that can keep them thinking about who it could be?
I don't want to give any clues right now. Honestly, I mean, I'd love to. I'd love to spill the beans, but I don't want to give any clues right now. Maybe, but yeah, we'll see when the EP drops. You know,
Mhm.
they should know that, you know, something big is coming with the EP.
It's gonna be
That's for
big.
sure. It's gonna be really big, like really big. Trust me.
You got the big artists coming from the home base there. Where are you looking to expand next? It doesn't have to be the States. Is there another artist either in the UK? Is there a different artist that you're looking to target next to eventually get to work with?
Honestly, there are a lot of artists that I'd love to work with, you know, from the UK to the US. If I like, I could, if I shouldn't have a list right now, if I should list all of them, you know, would probably, you know, time will probably run out. Trust me. But like, there are a lot of artists, you know, from the UK, from even in my hometown, Nigeria, and I'd love to work with a lot of these artists. But you know, we'll see what happens in the future.
Do you plan on touring to the States at all? Do you plan on coming here? You're already making the connections out here. Do you plan on coming out here and doing some travel work this year as far as performances?
Yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely, definitely. I'd love to. I'd love to share. You know, I'd love to push the Afrobeat music to America. I'd love to share my good music with America, and you know, I'd love to perform with them. You know,
Yeah. Oh no, it's got to happen. And I can see you working. There's a ton of artists here now, especially with the drill, because I know you incorporate drill into your music as well. Is there a specific drill artist that inspired you to take on that sound as well? Because it's started out in the UK, then it went to Chicago, and then it took over in New York. Is there a specific artist that really inspired you to dip into that sound as well?
a lot of drill artists. I wouldn't really say one person per se, but like a lot of drill artists did inspire me. You know, to just try out the drill sounds and, you know, experiment with the drill sound. And I would say some of them are Central C, Unknown T, and you know, Tion Wayne, Ross, Millions. I mean, I can name a lot of them, but no time. But yeah, so those people really did play a part in my experiment in drill music.
Now, when this EP drops, what are your expectations as far as the publicity and the charts? What are you setting any expectations for yourself as far as big? Because you already have the vision and confidence in yourself. What are your expectations for when this officially drops? Because I have confidence in you and the people around you do too. And if they listen to before, you can hear it.
Okay, so I have a really big expectation with the EP. By God's grace, actually, I'm hoping that the EP could hit the US charts, the Billboard charts, actually. If that can happen, definitely I'll be hyped. I'll be so hyped. The number one on the Billboard charts. The YugoSZN EP, it's number one on the US Billboard charts. It will be so great, it'll be so awesome. I'll be very happy. I'll be very excited about it.
Tell me about a moment so far throughout your early career and just getting started, even right now, could be something that happened just recently that you felt as though that your home base in Nigeria really believed in you as an artist.
You said?
What was a moment that happened recently, or even just when you were beginning on in your career as an artist, in which you felt that backing and just that the people from your home in Nigeria felt as though that you're going to be next up there?
I would say it was the time I performed at the
Mm.
ISL Fest in December last year. And coming on the stage, first of all, the crowd went crazy. I was really confident. That really just boosted my confidence, to be honest. Because even like when, because I performed part of two songs, and when the second song was the before song that's on right now.
You were explaining on, I remember the last question I asked you was regarding when you felt as though that your home base in Nigeria and the people around you believed in you to be the next up and coming artist there for sure. You were next up.
Yeah, so yeah, that was at the ISL Fest. It was really great. It was one of my biggest performances in my career, in my entire career. And the crowd was really hyped. They were really pumped to see me on stage, and I feel like that was big, one of the big things behind me. Them being rooting for me, and knowing that I'm the next big thing, because some people have not really heard the new music, because even when the before dropped, it hasn't even dropped before the performance on the ISL Fest. So that was really a big thing for me.
Mhm. Are you going to be having, because I've seen the snippets. Are we going to be getting the official music video for
Um,
before?
let's see what the future holds, though.
Okay. Because I know people that'll always bring it even further. And even if you wanted to incorporate some type of dance moves, because I know you came up with your own dance moves, that could help you go viral.
Facts. I'll consider that.
Absolutely. Tell me about working with Chillz in the studio. He's worked with DeVito, A Better Time, on that album. So tell me, what was it like working with him? Because I read about your story and starting out at home and to being in studio sessions with Chillz, who's a producer artist.
Honestly, Chillz, I would say Chillz. He's more like a big brother to me, honestly, because that was like my first studio session with him, and he took me in, he guided me through the things, gave me some tips, gave me some tricks on the recording process and all that. He basically took me like a younger brother, and made sure that everything was in place for me for the recording, for the whole song to be properly done. You know, and for me, I want to give a big shout out to him for sure, because I've never I didn't know him before. We haven't met before, so that was like our first encounter, and it was awesome. It was a great experience.
Have you guys remained in contact about you guys linking up in the studio in the future?
Yeah, definitely,
Yeah,
definitely.
good. he's got those connections, and he's done some amazing work. He's linked up with DeVito, one of the biggest artists as we know. So the fact that he sees
True,
something in you that's huge as well.
true. That's very true.
I want to get into the meaning of your name here because you actually added the Y to your name to make it
Yeah.
distinct. Yeah, tell me about that.
Okay, so Yugo, right? The name, the idea behind Yugo is my native name, my Igbo name is Ugochukwu, and in Nigeria, in Igbo language, that means God's glory. So if you cut that short, we have Ugo, that's UGO, right? And that on its own means glory, right? So
Mm.
me, just trying to make the name unique, and whenever you hear Yugo, it's me. I added the Y to just make it different from every other thing anyone has ever heard. You know, so the name basically is still, for me, it still means God's glory, even with the Y. So that's just the whole thing.
Mhm. Is there any time, because your name means God's glory, as you just said, is there any time where you've questioned God throughout your career, whether it's going through some sort of obstacles in life and just trying to push through the force of the music industry? Has there been a time that you've questioned God?
Nah, I don't like. I know there've been tough times, but I never question God. Trust me.
Mm.
Like, even when things try to get hard, or things try to look like they're not going well, I just sit back and tell God, like, I know you got this. I'm just gonna wait for you to do your thing, because I know He's gonna do the thing. And before you know it, the next something big just happens the next day or the next week. So I'm like, anytime something tries to go wrong, I just sit back and trust God. That's just it.
And you keep the faith for sure. I could tell that. Politics. I know politics plays a huge thing in all facets of the entertainment world and the industry. It's all who you know, not what you know all the time. So tell me about the politics that you face out in Nigeria. Is it where you have to pay to get your fake streams up? How does that work for artists out there? Because you're someone that's a genuine artist. So I don't believe that you pay for your fake streams. You actually chart. So what is the way to really get on top in Nigeria compared to where in the States people fake it till they make it per se?
Um, I don't really know much about making it in Nigeria, but because I'm not there yet. But I feel like in here in Nigeria, as long as you make good music, and as long as you push the music to the right audience, people are gonna automatically want to do anything in your song. Because I know TikTok is like one of the things that's trending, and one of the things that make songs go viral as well. So I feel like if you make good music and you promote that good music to the right audience, even in Nigeria, they would love the song to the point where they would want to do it. They would want to make a TikTok video with the song in their next TikTok video, or they want to talk about the song or something like that. So basically, I feel like, me personally, I feel like one of the big things on how to like grow as an artist in the music industry in Nigeria.
YugoSZN, the EP coming soon. Give us a little glimpse, a little preview of what this is going to entail about your life story that we haven't heard, because we know it's the evolution of yourself. But what's the story that we're going to be able to hear off of this upcoming EP?
You're gonna hear a lot about love, honestly. Um, there are parts of the song that talk about my story, like myself, and growing up and all that, and how the journey has been for me. But yeah, I don't want to spill too much beans. But yeah, just there's some love stories like before as well. There's some stories about myself. So it's basically Yugo season, the season where Yugo has different vibes, different energy, different, everything about YugoSZN basically.
It's your season that you're taking over. Yugo season. It's here.
Yes, sir.
We already know it, man. Now, I did an interview a few months ago actually with M.I. Abaga. I'm sure you're familiar with what he did.
Yeah.
It has how have you in any sort of way been inspired by his story and seeing him, because he's someone that came to the States and went back to Nigeria, and he's very outspoken about things that he's went through as far as the industry goes and just the politics of everything. So what are some things that you've learned about him and just how he champions Nigeria?
Am I is a really great artist, is a really great rapper. I really love his lyrics. He's one of the Nigerian rappers that I actually respect. I really look up to as well, because I don't know, hip hop music in Nigeria is not really appreciated that much, you know, compared to Afro beats. But he was one of the Nigerian rappers that I really look up to. Like sometimes I get, I listen to his music and his lyrics are really, they're really inspiring. They tell a story. They always tell stories. That's the thing. And I love rap music where it's like the artist is trying to tell you a story, or it's like an audio book, but with rhymes and lyrics and punchlines and all that stuff. It's really great to hear stuff like that. And Mi is a really inspiring artist for me. He's inspired me, trust me.
Yeah, I could tell the impact that he's had on you just now from what you said, and just the impact that he has had on the whole Nigeria. And just like you said, his storytelling, it paints a vivid picture for sure. Besides the Afro beats and R&B and drill, are there any other lanes, types of music that you're looking to tackle and bring into your catalog that you haven't tried out yet, as far as genres and sounds?
Yeah, I've been thinking of a couple. I've thought of trying jump pop music.
Okay,
I
yeah.
I try to experiment with pop music a little bit. Um, I would say there's this type of, I don't know what they call it. There's this type of genre. I don't know if it's a subgenre, but there's how the beat goes. I think they call it Jersey Club or something
Okay,
like
yeah,
that.
Jersey Club, yeah. Where the Jersey
Yeah,
Club mixes and dances and stuff, yeah.
yeah. I don't know if that's an actual genre, but I was thinking of actually diving into that as well.
Yeah.
Experimenting. I love exploring sounds. I love testing new waters. I love trying new things, basically. So, I might try a lot of different genres as well. And anyone that I really like or that I enjoy, I can add it to the catalog and maybe put it out with an album coming in the future or something. But yeah.
YugoSZN, the EP. When's the target date, as far as we can say it by season instead? Are we looking to get this out in the spring, the summer, fall?
mm, nah.
You're keeping this locked.
I mean, I'd love to spill the beans, but like, don't worry. When the time comes,
When the time comes.
when the time comes.
You have it. Yugo, is there anything else you want to let your fans know that we didn't talk about tonight?
Um, Honestly, I'll just give the people an advice. Basically, pray always. Don't ever stop. If there's anything you're trying to get into, if there's anything you're trying to do, or if there's anything you're doing, don't stop. If there's any goal you're trying to achieve, don't stop. Basically, pray. Pray about it. Don't stop. And yeah, try to network with people. Try to meet a lot of people with the same mindset. It really helps, and it really encourages you, on what you're doing as well, because you meet like-minded people and you talk about different things, solve each other's problems and all that. And yeah, I'll be going live tomorrow on Tuesday. Exactly. That's the day in Nigeria, basically.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll be going live on Tuesday. So, the fans can catch me on Instagram at YugoSZN. I'm active on Twitter as well at YugoSZN _. Before the visualizers out on YouTube, they should go check it out. And keep streaming before on Spotify, Apple Music, and all platforms. Greatest song of all time.
You got it. You got it, man. Make sure you check it out. Yugo is really one of the up and coming artists from Nigeria out here. I believe in his sound, his vision. He believes in himself, and that's all that matters because you see the artists that have believed in themselves, and even when they don't have the most people around them and record labels that don't believe in them, they're the ones that achieve. I mean, we can talk about Jay-Z, Kanye, he's controversial, I get it. Drake, all those artists, they didn't see their vision, and look what happened. And just think the people that are really putting in the work and believe in themselves, those are the ones to sign because we see what happens.
Facts.
Yeah, they strike out. But Yugo is here. He's one of the next one of those artists that I just mentioned. And thank you for coming on the show, man. I appreciate the time
Thank you
that we
for
had
having
here
me,
tonight.
bro.
Of course, man. And I look forward to seeing everything that achieves for you this year. You growing as an artist and all your accomplishments in the future. Shout out to Richard Dean for connecting us, your management. And you're always welcome on the show whenever you got an upcoming release. Once you do finally release that EP, I'll check it out. I'll tune into it, and we'll do another show too.
Thank you, bro. Have a great evening. Have a great day.
You too, man. Enjoy the rest of your night. Take care. Stay safe, man. Blessings for
Stay safe, bro.
2023. Salute, man.